Hello, everybody, and welcome to CCA League Season 5 opening weekend. That was a phenomenal first match that we just saw between GMU Patriots and the Carnegie Exotic Fries. We're going to keep the show going, though, with a Division 4 matchup up ahead between the Farmingdale Rams and Moravian CyberSquids. I am DRF, joined by Frosty to bring you all the coverage of this second game of tonight's triple header.
Wait, Frosty? Where? Can I get an autograph? Wait, where is he?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Only if it's on a wrinkly shirt.
Of course. Gotta have the memorabilia. I get you. So, leading into this match, though, besides my desire for my own autograph, I think you mentioned it before, that this is a match of Division 4 between the Farmingdale State College Farmingdale Esports versus the Moravian University Moravian CyberSquids. Teams we've seen before in the CCA, no?
Yes, I believe for both of these teams, this is their third season with us, question mark. I could be misspeaking on that, but I know that they have certainly been around for a decent amount of time now. So it should be a fun battle between both of these teams that have developed quite the history here within the CCA.
Definitely, and I guess going right into it, Splatzone's Robo Ramen. Looking at their keys to victory, Farmingdale provided us with
Map control can be everybody's key to victory because it is important no matter what the map mode, whoever the opponent is. And, you know, I think it's good that they kind of just reinforce that within their keys to victory here, just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. This is what's going to happen. This is what we are focusing on. So, you know, sometimes that you just need to really focus on those key things, even if they at a greater level seem like some of the basics. But I think these teams are ready to go, Frosty. Let's dive on into game number 1 for both of these teams in Season 5, Splat Zones on Robo Ramen. Let's take a look at these comps.
That's a Hydra and a Squiffer. Interesting. I see. Right. I don't know what they're cooking, but I'm here for it, so...
Yeah, no, this is certainly an interesting composition indeed. Not at all what I was expecting to get things kicked off here. But nonetheless, it will be Moravian that gets first control of this zone, and it's going to be Farmingdale that responds very quickly, capping themselves, and going to be getting what could be a delayed wipe here. Yes, it is. Everyone's is going to start moving up, and it's Farmingdale that has complete control right now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I take back every bad connotation I had with that sentence, because Farmingdale is showing exactly what kind of pressure this comp can put forward. That Hydra is devastating, keeping the members back, keeping this push back very slow, giving the team members time to come back. Over here, we see Mike trying to make the underpass with that Octo shot, farming up for that Zook again. 2 members go down on the side of Farmingdale, as right now Moravian is moving in and taking as much space as possible.
Yeah, and excellent response here. I mean, it seems like we're just going to try to get a bit of tit for tat here, lockout for lockout, as both of these teams try to just one-up each other, do it a little bit better, and so far Moravian doing exactly that, showing Farmingdale, hey, you guys got into lockout position, but this is how you hold it for even longer. And now we are below 40 points remaining for them, and it doesn't seem like this push is going to stop anytime soon, although this Booyah Bomb does pick 1, and that's going to allow the flip of the zone, and a 3 down on the side of Moravian CyberSquids. The brush is the last one standing, but it's going to get called out, making a delayed wipe. Moravian moving on up.
I like just how both of these teams are playing very just off of each other. Okay, this match has gone one wave, then returning, then back. This is just a giant wave pool happening right now with this zone. Right now, the the Splat Bomb going to pick off that Squiffer. The bubble is remaining, quickly going to be shredded. It is 4 for 3 right now in favor of Moravian, as slow moving in, but no, the Hydra and the Brush managed to get the pick. Just securing as much paint. The zone is painted over. 2 members are alive. No, make that 1 as the Squiffer forced to retreat. Moravian back in the driver's seat.
An excellent game one between both of these teams. Definitely very close to get things started. I mean, we're continuing to just go back and forth. Moravian now, though, losing 2 members, not going to be able to get out of the penalty, it seems, as this zone goes neutral. Farmingdale not going to take much to get control, and here it is. Booyah Bomb coming out, going to be spacing out some of those players and pick off that Splash-O-Matic as well. So now it seems like that Farmingdale is starting to really break things open here. If they can probably find one more pick, I could see them going for the long run here and trying to ultimately knock out, but that splashdown is going to come up pretty big here on the Nautilus, and it seems like we might actually have a neutral game once again.
Keeping an eye on these splatlings is going to be critical, especially with that zone, because there's a lot of space to move around outside and only so much in the zone. If you focus your fire on the zone, you have a lot of just space denial, but you need to keep the sides painted, as we're seeing right now. The Bucket, Roy Boy managing to make their way along the right side, trying to secure this zone again, taking another pick. Can they go for 3? Yes, they can! Roy Boy on a tear, chasing Mike all the way back, still holding the lead, Farmingdale.
Absolutely, as this penalty slowly ticks down, it's Farmingdale with the advantage on the scoreboard, but not in the numbers on the field right now as these specials come out from Moravian, and they are going to neutralize the zone, not going to be able to find the flip. They are out of specials. Now the trip strikes come out right in time, though. Still not able to flip this zone. Oh, and the Squiffer comes up with a beautiful double, trying to find the 3rd. Not going to be able to do so. The zone never flipped. Farmingdale out of the penalty, and Moravian now having to scramble, last-ditch effort with these ink strikes, trying to force the neutral. Farmingdale painting right through it, and it's not going to be enough, it seems. Oh, wait, hold on for just a little longer. But Farmingdale forces the zone and captures game number 1 in thrilling fashion, setting the tone for the set.
Okay. I need to get in on this group chat that all the matches here today, they're like, okay, let's make these sets great. You know, I wanted to know about this ahead of time so I could have mentally prepared myself. Because,
honestly, I mean, that is fantastic. You know, and this really does take me back to Season 2 when we kicked off our season with stream. We had a fantastic 7-game set. We got a fantastic 7-game set in that last set, and both Farmingdale and Moravian are really trying to live up to the hype here, it seems. They are delivering already in game number 1 with some tense action, and I don't know, I'm just very, very excited. We haven't had quite the opening day like this since Season 2.
That fresh air on an opening day. Love to see it. And speaking of love to see it, I don't love to see this map mode, but I am a broken record at this point when it comes to Manta. But notably, looking at that pick of the Squiffer, I'm not sure how much it's going to be, you know, impactful on a map like this. In contrast, the bucket picks are something that you love to see, being able to hit over these very high walls all over the place. That grates area especially, and the bunker, just having all of these high contested areas covered is exactly what you need to hold a good push on the stage. So I'm curious about what they're going to bring out.
Absolutely. And, you know, you don't need to hear it from me. You know, I will always endorse buckets. And as a result, Manta Maria, that, you know, it might be one that you're not a big fan of, Frosty, but I love it. I think Manta Maria is so much fun. But, you know, like you said, it really does come into various weapon class discussions, as sloshers do tend to do pretty well here. We've seen blasters do pretty well, especially now that we have the splashdown special as well. That really does add another element to how you can navigate the street in particular as you're pushing through there, because you can splash down and have those extra 2 fists reach over those ledges and make a really big impact. So anything that works well on ledges is going to thrive here.
You bring up a good point with these interesting special interactions, because we've seen the Booyah Bomb. It has worked in splat zones, and it probably will work even better on tower control, just throwing it nearby, trying to score some extra picks, force people off the tower, get these pushes going. Playmaking specials, especially on Manta Maria, are the name of the game here. Peeking back over at the keys to victory, Moravian has decided to let us see what they're cooking, because they have made their keys to victory a surprise.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to continue doing a little bit of speculating for them to see what kind of adjustments they have to make. I think in that last game, one thing that they did do really well was coordinating those specials to work their way back into spawn, or not in spawn, back into the zone. Because they time and time again really did a good job of contesting that zone, but it seemed like that Farmingdale figured that out a little bit and really decided to put a lot of ink pressure on the zone and said, hey, if we could just continue to ink the zone and just get 1 or 2 picks, we don't need to get full wipes. Then we have them staggered. It's going to be harder for them to move in with those specials, and that's exactly what helped them win game 1. So the thing that Moravian's going to have to respond with here is to make sure that you continue to coordinate those specials well, but now you're going to have to add in that extra element of how do you follow up and how do you make sure that your members are alive to put the correct pressure onto that objective.
You bring up a good point of keeping the members alive. In that last match, we did see their Octoshot player, I believe that was Mike, being the last one alive in these very messy team fights and finding ways to just hold the control of what they already have, even without a numbers advantage, with a lot more places to hide on a map like this. Because, Robo Ramen has a lot of just visible sight on everything on the map, basically. Pretty much everything except for the other side of the zone, which, But with a lot more places to hide, like being able to use that right court area, potentially right underneath the bunker, using that sneaky right approach, or camping the left ledge. Things like that, I think if Moravian can apply that, they're going to do very well at just stopping the defense before it even gets a chance to set up.
Absolutely. Well, we will have to kind of wait and see as these teams are almost ready to go to dive on into game number 2, and I think we are in position to do so. So let's get this kicked off. Farmingdale up 1-0 as we head into tower control. Manta Maria, Frosty, taking a look at some of these adjustments here.
Completely different. Okay.
Sort of different, I'm not exactly sure how to interpret the Farmingdale composition here, because this is something that you just don't see much.
I don't know where to begin. There's a notable, I wouldn't say lack of paint, I'd say lack of spread paint. A lot of these weapons paint very narrow in front of them, like that Squiffer and the bow. Meanwhile, you have a lot more sort of paint and indirect sort of comboing coverage on the side of Moravian. But going to the match, 2v2, very messy team fight as we're seeing here. Roy Boy camping out with that blaster, waiting for the tower to pick. Yes, there goes the shot as they're being chased out by the C-Chat.
Yeah, and this is really interesting early on as both of these teams are just not really trying to push this objective a whole lot, just making sure that they are getting the picks that they need, build up some specials, because they don't want to force anything and put themselves in a bad position, as we are finally starting to see a bunch of picks here on both sides, and it's going to be Moravian with the triple, make it a wipeout. They are on the move. Checkpoint 1 should fall with ease.
Hey, but not time to rest yet. Remember, Farmingdale has a very poke-heavy comp with that blaster. You never know where the Squiffer's coming from. The bow is just firing artillery shells over walls. It is not time to rest, even though you have the advantage right here. As we're seeing right here, one member goes down to the street. As right now, the Squiffer is set up. They are using that new Squiffer, so the Zipcaster is an option if they can get it to make their defense. The second checkpoint is still being ticked down. Yes, they do manage to clear it, but right now the members are in a very tough spot. That is 3 down, and the tower is swinging back to mid. The damage is done, though.
Yeah, a great first push there from the Moravian CyberSquids, as now this tower goes all the way back to neutral, and they are looking to try to keep this push going, but it's not going to be the case here. They lose 2 members instead, and it seems like Farmingdale is trying to find where the rest of those members are. They are not pushing this objective until they find themselves in just equally good of a position, but they lose 2 members there, so now they're going to be forced all the way back, and Moravian probably going to pick up this tower yet again. Farmingdale was not able to capitalize on the numbers advantage that they had there, and they are certainly going to pay for it, as the Moravian CyberSquids really pushing up now, trying to take complete control of street, and they are on the move here. The blaster trying to slow things down, able to do so, picks off 1, trying to get this machine now on the far left side, who forces the Booyah Bomb out. They get shredded, and it seems like this is just going to settle back into a neutral game, but Moravian doing as much as they can to keep this tower forward.
Interesting use of the bubbler, being able to put it on to prevent members from going inside already, because they won't have the protection of their team to help them out in case they get into trouble to paint over that space, to get in space to move. The blaster picking off 2 picks and leaving the Neo Splash to retreat. No, they're going to clean that up as well. The tower is swinging back. The bubble is back online already. That was fast. Wow, okay.
That certainly was, and now this tower though just does seem like it is a little bit slow on the movement here, as they are going to reach the second checkpoint, cleared the first one with ease, but now this is the decisive moment of the match. Can Farmingdale match the score? Can they get the picks they need? They do find 3. It's going to be up to this trip strike to try and stop this tower right in the nick of time. They get the stop, but Farmingdale forces it to 2 extra points. They get the lead, but are wiped out. A minute 20 to play, and Moravian is back in control, but now they are down by 2.
They need to go, and cover a lot of space. It was mentioned before, they have a very narrow painting comp that paints in front of them. If they can deny the lateral movement of the enemy team, then Moravian's going to be in a very good spot to keep this push going. But it's all a matter of how much they can get in there. They've shown they can do it before with that machine going in, getting those 2 picks. Right now, 1 member goes down to the street as the Zipcaster is coming out and trying to get even more picks. 3 down on the side of Moravian, as right now, Farmingdale is making their statement and getting this tower moving back the other direction with 45 seconds left to play, DRL.
Frosty, this is another back and forth game, and these 2 teams are going toe to toe right now and matching each other's movements, each other's pushes, just trying to one up barely. And with 30 seconds to play, the ball is back in Farmingdale's court to make a play happen, but it looks like the blaster overextends there just a little bit. The Mike going to build up the Zuka here with 15 seconds to play, trying to hold on to it, but they might need to bring it out just a little bit early, and they will. Able to come up with a massive pick there. 2 members down on the side of Farmingdale. The shot gets another pick and another pick before they go down, and that will do it. Moravian ties up the set at 1 game apiece.
Oh, I should have been mentally prepared for this. That was such a close set. Like, a few points and all these very tight pushes, just very messy scraps on that street with a lot of just indirect damage coming out, chipping members down bit by bit. But in the end, it is going to be an even set going into game number 3 on Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard, where even games are probably not as common, but I honestly think that this could be one of those rare exceptions with how these teams are playing.
Yeah, it is certainly, I don't know, Rainmaker Sturgeon, I feel like we really just don't get to see it that much at comp anymore. You know, it's one that has really phased out of the competitive scene. We do see it from time to time, but with this one, the way that these 2 teams have been going toe-to-toe so far, I wouldn't be surprised if it continues here, but because with Rainmaker Sturgeon, it could go a couple of different ways. You can either get a massive stall fest where we take like 3 minutes for either team to clear the checkpoint, or you get one team that clears the checkpoint, the other team spends 3 minutes trying to clear theirs, inherently making it a close game, but it really just becomes a struggle of who gets that first checkpoint, and the other team spends the rest of the game just trying to clear theirs while the other team defends to make sure that doesn't happen. Or you get just a breakthrough moment, and this snowballs into a massive push from one team. But I think that the way these 2 teams have been playing, I do anticipate probably the former option there, where it ends up being a low-scoring affair. These teams just continue to go back and forth, and we really see a lot of big plays hover around checkpoint 1.
I can see what you're saying. Counterpoint, which checkpoint do you go for? Because maybe I'm out of touch, but this is a rare exception map with two different options, where both of them have real use cases, you know?
Yes.
If you're able to control that pit area leading up to mid, you can take the right checkpoint, and it's a bit faster and probably a bit more flashy to go for that knockout finish from that right jump. On the other side, you have to wait on the left side, but it is typically a lot more safer. You have an area to hunker yourself down without a lot of fear of being fired upon. We are seeing the Tri-Nouveau come out on the side of Moravian right now, making use of that tactical to kind of get the members in and out as fast as possible, kind of clean up these messy team fights a bit faster. We're seeing the... Is that a problem?
That is in fact a Brella. I was gonna wait to see if you point that one out, but we do have a Brella in our midst here, and it is going to be a scrappy opening in mid. Brella built up that ink gem, no one's able to pop it, and now everyone trying to jump in, get control of mid. Brella actually gonna survive that bomb, and now both teams just trying to find any picks, trying not to go too much down, but it seems like that it's going to be Farmingdale that gets delivered the first blow here as Moravian is able to start progressing towards that first checkpoint. That's going to be a 3-down situation, and this first checkpoint should be cleared.
Oof, I think you might be a prophet, DRF. I mean, right now, that is a very messy push, though, with 2 members going down at the end. So you have to kind of fight for this Rainmaker, or do you choose to give it up? Give the space, reset the neutral, and then just kind of find your way to defend from here. Right now, Farmingdale is doing a great job at just kind of zoning out this Tri-Slash, preventing them from getting that pick up for the shield reset. Booyah Bomb's going to come out. The Ink is, the Tri-Zuka right now, going to pick off that Ink Jet, going for the Rainmaker. Yes, they do pick it up. The shield is reset, and right now the numbers are even. This is still a lot of space to play with, DRF.
It is, and I think Farmingdale needs to win that battle right there to just keep the... No, they're not going to do so. But I was going to say to just keep the Rainmaker away from Moravian. It seems like they are going to get the forced reset, but Moravian picking up the Rainmaker when they did the force it, the extra 2 points, that could actually go a long ways, as it can be difficult sometimes to push beyond this checkpoint, especially if you go onto this lower checkpoint. So it really could pay dividends later on, as they're going to make a move here to keep this Rainmaker going, adding on 14 more points, a much bigger push, and now with 3 down, this push should be done, and Farmingdale now has the second half of this game to match it or make it better.
That's the kind of dedication you need, especially on Sturgeon, just having that my life for points mindset. If you're able to just eke out just a few more points to get you through those like very difficult tiebreaker situations, that's what you need to win games like this, unless you obviously can knock out, but you know, knockouts are nice. They're not necessary, but they happen. Right now, Farmingdale's gonna go ahead and make a move controlling mid right here. One member is down, but they do have that middle ground painted. We see Jasmine and Z right here on the left side trying to secure themselves. The Rainmaker does get picked up by Mike, but they're quickly picked off by that stamp as 2 members go down. Farmingdale holds control of mid and is starting to mount their push.
Oh, that's a delayed wipe right there. But the Rainmaker barrier is not popped, so it's going to be a little bit slow for Farmingdale to pick up this Rainmaker. They still don't pick it up. Oh, it seemed like they tried to grab it a couple times and just missed. And that's going to slow their push down significantly, as now they are only able to get just a couple of points on the board. This is a disaster for Farmingdale. They had a massive opportunity there, and now they're going to have to try and make it happen again. They do get 2 picks, so it is possible here. Trying to find the third. Getting sandwiched right here is going to be Mike. They get that 3rd pick, and now Moravian is staggered. A move for the pedestal in the works here, as things are going to slow down just a little. It seems like they go for the top left checkpoint, but are not able to pull it off. 2 members down on the side of Farmingdale, and this Rainmaker push is going to stop here.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, not having enough pressure on the right side is exactly what gets the entire team to pivot up on top of that ramp and have high ground on you, just chucking bombs and hitboxes down, and you just can't get forward. So kind of even splitting, no one wants to say splitting up the team is the answer, but honestly on a left checkpoint like that, splitting up the team is kind of what you have to do, right? Like, right now we see the Rainmaker moving forward left side, is going to get picked off by that Brella and traded in return. No, here comes Ratboy with the Nautilus cleaning up the pick. It is still 2-2 with 40 seconds left to play. What? Mike? Okay.
Damn, okay. I know Mike with a supernatural ability right there. I am surprised that they lived through that. That is quite impressive. As this Rainmaker will reset, 24 seconds to play, and Moravian on the brink of a victory here, but they lose 3 members, I think. That's a stagger. And now it's Farmingdale's opportunity to get this checkpoint that they've been looking for. But yet again, they take quite some time to pick up this Rainmaker, and now Mike's gonna be here ready to stop this Rainmaker. Luckily, teammate gonna body block to keep this push alive. And now Mike coming in with the Zuka. 1 shot, 2 shot, and they nail it. Bullseye. Moravian takes game 3.
I really love to see the differences in tempo. Once you've got the messy team fights out of the way, you see that Moravian kind of just wastes no time. When they see the opportunity, they're going for it. That is the push right there. We are carrying this until we all go down and doing it all again the next day. On contrast, Farmingdale shows a bit more patience in their pushes, sort of analyzing, okay, where's our numbers advantage? How's the Rainmaker looking? Sort of taking a bit more of a methodical approach. On a map like Sturgeon, when you see that opportunity, you take that opportunity because they don't show up very often. So, and honestly, in game number 4 with Clam Blitz on Crableg Capital, I think that the latter mindset might be a bit more useful per se. You know, Crableg tends to have very difficult terrain in the middle area where that's a war zone right there. There are so many things flying at you that unless you are planning 7 steps ahead, you are going to hit a wall and you're either going through it or under it.
Absolutely. This one, I think, is a really suiting first Clam Blitz map for these two because this map can definitely get a little chippy. It's going to be an absolute mess in mid. The baskets are... the baskets feel like they're both close and so far away at the same time just because it takes a fair bit of coordination to move in and score. And the way that these teams have been playing, we've been seeing a lot of 3-down situations for both sides, and it's going to be a matter of who is able to capitalize on their numbers advantage when it presents itself. So I fully anticipate this really resembling what we've seen in these past 3 games, where it's going to be really, really high splats, really high splat count. But, who's going to manage their cram economy better? Who's going to time their pushes better? Those are the 2 things that I want to see out of both of these teams.
You see, the first part you mentioned about the distance of the clam basket, I feel like that's a veiled jab at me for how many power clams I've missed on this map. Like, you're so right, but I don't want you to be.
Not at all. No. That was definitely not a jab at you at all. But I feel like this is one of those maps where it is actually, we have a higher rate of people that miss the clam basket.
It's because so it is a little bit goofy. Though. Like, that little bump, I feel like that bump is dead wrong. I have seen people make it from way past it and miss from, basically right underneath. This map is cursed, for the record. Not in a bad way. This is a very good map, I think, to have here. Like you said, I think it'd be really entertaining to see how these teams play off of each other in this very messy middle ground. But this basket right here, I feel like you need to have, some sort of ritual before you play this map in order to make all your baskets, right? There's no way that anyone can reliably say I'm consistent on Clam Blitz Crableg,
Oh, that's a great way to put it, honestly. Because it is a very tricky map mode. No matter how much you practice it, sometimes there's just little things that just suddenly don't go your way. Like the wind blows a slightly different direction, and
Mercury's in retrograde when you're trying to throw the clam in. I get it.
We are up on top of a skyscraper, so those winds really can have an effect.
True, and hold on to your hats, folks, because here comes game number 4. Looking at the comps right here, we are seeing a return of that bow and the Splatana, and generally similar comps that we've seen before. Notably, that is a sloshing machine Neo. We've seen the point sensor being used to great effect to sort of catch these flanks and stall neutral out for as long as possible. But no, right here, as we're seeing, the first member is going to go down, with Farmingdale holding their ground right here. Will they be able to make a move and push forward? No, it looks like the numbers are still going to be even. The Brush makes a move for it and trades off Jack, managing to clean it up and stop the bleeding before it starts.
I'm surprised that Jack lived through that. I thought that was a free double for Jasmine there. But nonetheless, Jack going to hold on to their life here and be able to build up this cooler, grab it, and start putting their team in a better position here because of it, as we now see Farmingdale having to back up a little bit, but two members go just a little bit too far, and now we're back to a neutral game as Roy Boy able to get one pick, looking for the second, not able to do so. Finally gonna have to back off just a little bit, but for now we continue to see a very neutral game here between these two teams. And of course, as I say that, we're gonna see Roy Boy come up with the third pick of this run here, and Farmingdale is in position to score if they can just pass around their clams and get to the basket.
Right now, the clam economy is heavily in favor of Farmingdale, with them holding those 11 clams and denying so many, but they just need to be able to make this ball and make this push. There we go, Z going down, and Mike manages to secure the pick, push it forward in mid. They are quarter, however, can they trade off and make it even? No, there goes the sloshing machine. Roy Boy going to pick them off and keep this neutral going for 90 whole seconds. This is tough to push in.
Yeah, and the way that both of these teams are playing right now, we are seeing both of them get two down situations, but neither's been able to quite capitalize yet. So this might have to come down to one of these teams getting that third pick or even a wipe, because it's very clear that these teams aren't comfortable making the push unless they know that they're going to be able to have the full numbers and full control of Plat and that ramp. A lot of hesitancy on both sides, as now we're going to see two down yet again on the side of Moravian. Farmingdale trying to see if they can make something happen here, but again, quick respawns here. Neither team really is ready to make a move. So the way this currently is going, Frosty, I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to a one and done push.
This exact situation feels like, you know those parts in the horror movies where, like, the main character's creeping around? Except both teams in this situation are the main character and their opponents are, like, the monster. Because, like, this doesn't look... This is a very intense neutral right now, and like you said, one big play will swing this. You don't know what is happening because they're doing such a good job of retreating every time they're down numbers. Roy Boy going to secure a pick with that Zuka. Will they get the second one? No, not quite. But forcing the which weapon is that? That is doesn't matter. Pick is going to be down by getting cornered on the right side. As that here it is. There's potentially. Oh, there goes the stamp! There's the stamp! Managing to push in! Securing the numbers, no, Mike gonna clean it up, and there's no way in!
Oh man, I would love to kind of revisit that analogy that you just made, Frosty. This really is... Both teams are in a horror movie, but both teams are the main character and the monster that they're trying to get away from right now. Like, this is some Scooby-Doo stuff, and at the end of the day, we're gonna take the mask off of Crableg here and find out that it was mincemeat all along. So, that's what this is giving right now as we approach the final minute. Neither team has scored yet, and they are struggling to break through. Neither has quite the specials to have that massive breakthrough push either. I mean, the hammer from the wiper, possibly, but it's someone's gonna have to come up big in these last 50 seconds, and this could be it, as we do see two people coming in, and the splashdown not gonna be able to hit, but they do get the bow, and here it goes. Here's the move, the brush trying to come up with a big stop here, and able to do so, I think. No way! We are still tied at 0 points apiece. 30 seconds remain.
I think you might be right about this being mincemeat. How? Both teams shown incredible ability to just handle the pressure, keep calm, force the other team out from under the basket, denying the clam economy enough. That is a lot of clams right here on both teams. But none of them have gone into the basket yet. Oh, here could be the move. Two members are down on Moravian. Right now, as the stamps going in, securing the third pick. Will they be able to get the basket? Jump in! Move! Come on! That is two members down! The stagger has started. Mist slowly working their way forward with that power clam. Here comes the shot for the basket. Will they be able to land it? Yes! There's the two power clams! In 5 minutes!
Oh my goodness, it has been a long time since I have seen a scoreless clams game go through regulation and we get a one-and-done victory in overtime. Roy Boy missed, giving themselves that fist bump. What a wild game there. And even at the end, we just saw that they were so hesitant to make that move towards the basket despite having to stagger. Like, that is slightly mind-boggling. I really think that both of these teams are in each other's heads to that point where they have started to second guess themselves, because in game number 1, we saw like how aggressive both of those teams were and how much we saw continuously 3 downs, 4 downs, and that zone trading back and forth. Here, both teams really just started to say, hey, we want to slow this down. We just want to be a little more methodical. We want to be certain, because these 3 downs and 4 downs have been swinging the match, and we need that to stop. So it definitely seemed like both teams just kind of are starting to get in each other's heads. I think that's as simple as it gets, as you know, they just weren't as confident making the same plays that we saw in game number 1.
I mean, and don't worry, if you're missing the action, this is the map mode you were looking for, because Splat Zones, Barnacle, and Dime, any sign of weakness is going to be a hefty push. And like, that's just a true fact. And as you're saying, right, those 2 down situations, you can't hold neutral like you can in Crab Leg. Barnacle and Dime, you have to defend that plat with your life, or you are losing it. That's just how the cookie crumbles. And going into it, I'm wondering if we're going to see more of these heavy siege-style weapons come out. We've seen the Hydra. We've seen a Sea-Jet. Weapons like that. I wonder if they're thinking, okay, well, if we want a lot of pushing power and something to set up, I wonder if that's what they're thinking of trying out, you know?
Yeah, that is certainly possible. I really do think that as we kind of talk about game number 1, you're right. This is what we should see, because I feel like Barnacle and Diamond Robo are very similar in their structure. You know, you have the zone and you have that key lockout position, you know, on that L turn towards spawn. So very, very similar style I think we're going to be seeing here from both of these teams. Anticipate a complete run back from game number 1 as both of these teams try to lock out, but it's going to be a game of building specials, coordinating, pushing back in at the right time, trip strikes on both sides, but this time we are seeing double trip strike out of Moravian. I think that's going to be a nice addition to have here, because the trip strikes were really the difference maker in game 1.
I mean, maybe what they want is try to force a fight, you know? Throw them behind the team, try to get them in. But as we're seeing right here, with 2 members going down, Farmingdale is already trying to take the lead here. Trying to go for that zone cap, not quite happening yet. Looks like they're trying to take this a bit slower, go for the picks first. Good option as Mist is now in prime position to start setting up and begin this lockout if they can hold this plat. Right now, the Tri-Star's coming out, trying to claim it back. The Rain slowly moving in. A Diplo is going to be potentially looking at the left side, contending with that Hydra with a 2-person pitch. 3 members going down, swinging back the other way.
Oh, wait, look at Jasmine, though. Oh, trying to come over with a nice pick there.
Yo.
Yes.
Oh, clean.
A good shark there by Jasmine to continue to put pressure on this zone. Not going to let this one go up easy. And that just prevents the lockout as well. Jasmine, oh, picking the second player off there. Able to help flip the zone. I really think that without Jasmine sharking in that position, Moravian actually would have gone away with so much more. Jasmine with the 3rd pick now and starting to pop off here just a little bit as Farmingdale is back in control here and searching for the lead. But with these killer whales coming in, it seems like Moravian ready to try to neutralize this zone, and they're gonna let the lead slip. Able to get the neutral, but with 2 down, Farmingdale holds control.
I do like this idea they have going on of having Jasmine just shark nearby even when they're down, because what we've seen before is these teams having these very messy confrontations and both backing off, giving each other time to breathe. And I think what Farmingdale's going for here is, hey, what if we take out that variable of letting them breathe? Having someone always nearby, and when they move in, boom, putting the pressure right back on. As you hear Jasmine snaking around, getting another pick onto that. That is a wipeout with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is going to be game number 5 going to Farmingdale Esports. Wow.
Wow, indeed. As that, like I said, it felt like game number 1, but Farmingdale cut to the chase a little bit quicker. As we eventually did see them break through and initiate that lockout to get the knockout. They did the same thing here, except this time we didn't see as much back and forth. We saw it in the beginning a little bit, but this time they said, hey, we can find those key positions a little bit faster. Jasmine coming up big, sharking, and every time someone from Moravian tried to make a move towards the zone, Jasmine was there to just shut them down. So an excellent job there by Farmingdale, who was down 1-2, now they're up 3-2. Excellent positioning, excellent teamwork. They are at match point.
Ooh, and now that the pressure's on, we're going back to tower control. This the tower control set on Manta was already a nail biter with how close those pushes were, those very messy fights over in the street area. With Hagglefish Market, I'm thinking we're going to see some of the same, but this time ahead of the tower. Remember that the tower path on Hagglefish Market winds all the way around when you're pushing from mid to the enemy base. It winds all the way right and sticks right until it leads into the goal area, right? Those are a lot of highly contested high ground areas. Sending members up to make the jump, I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of daredevils trying to make that jump now that we've seen the potential of having someone keep pressure on, you know?
Hey, that could certainly be the case. So I especially as we kind of look back at the previous tower control game, and I know I'm doing a lot of speculating, utilizing what we have seen previously in this set, but I really feel like that we've seen a lot of pretty consistent patterns so far through 5 games. But here, I do think that this will be back and forth yet again. It's as similar to what we saw with Tower Manta. It's going to be a matter of getting some big plays right around the tower to allow the push to go as long as it can. I really do think that this is going to kind of be another nail biter because especially with where these checkpoints are located, that's going to be a great opportunity for some of these longer range weapons in particular to just camp that tower and make something happen. So I don't know. To me, this just is screaming, we're running it back from game 2. And with that, this can go either way, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Moravian. I think that they can pull this one out and force a game 7.
I don't know. Farmingdale's been cooking. We did see what they pulled out the last match. If they can repeat that, I think they got this. So we'll see.
Moravian, though, I'm gonna say like they definitely, I think, just edged out last time on tower. But that is a rapid pro, and I love the pick actually because I do think that these killer whales are going to come up massive with just putting pressure on the tower, because last time it was a game of inches and those killer whales can really make the difference in a very close game. So that's what I'm anticipating here from that rapid pro pick in particular. But meanwhile, on the side of Farmingdale, seems like they're running it with a lot of the same weapons we'd seen from them before, but that slosher, that's the thing to watch out for. Being able to utilize those trip strikes. I mean, of course, we see that Moravian has 2 of them themselves. But, you know, with the slosher, that's the person you need to watch out for when it comes to late game.
Oh, right now, very good push, getting it to 74. Doesn't break any checkpoints, however, getting points early is kind of what you need to sort of set the pace of the match, and being able to get back into mid. When that tower is moving slow, you can't have too many members rushing forward, else you risk a flank. There are flank routes on this map. I know it's rare in Splatoon 3, but there are flank routes. Right now, as the lead is almost close to switching, 76 to 74. Did you see someone attack the tower? No, it looks like the members are forced to retreat as 2 of Farmingdale goes down, and Moravian is forced to push, or not forced, rather is forcing the members out. Roy Boy, still on the retreat, under fire and flames from these suction bombs. Whoa, they're surviving. Whoa.
How is Roy Boy still alive? What footwork there from Roy Boy to somehow get away and get the pick, despite being weak for a solid 20 seconds there. And now it is going to still be Moravian who holds on to this tower position, and it seems like this is going to be going back to neutral. Farmingdale somehow survives that push, does not let another point slip. I mean, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Roy Boy there just from the perspective that we saw. Staying alive is on. Sometimes it's just the best resource you have, as now Farmingdale converting this into points of their own, and they get the lead.
The Zipcaster is online. It's coming out, going for the backline, trying to find picks under, getting caught under the grates. Right, just trying to draw as much fire away from that tower as possible. The points are still ticking down with 50 there, but it looks like as of right now that push is going to stop right there. The checkpoint is clear, so mission accomplished to some degree. Having that extra ground of just having a checkpoint, avoiding that very highly contested area with these messy fights going back and forth. I think that all 8 members of that are playing right now are like, they've all built tank, because I have not seen a lot of very decisive sweeps. So just their ability to just stay alive for as long as possible, be of value to their team, cannot be understated. Right now, the bow managing to just fire off a bunch of artillery shots, denying a lot of space. As honestly, with neutral right here, no one has really gotten the advantage even with that checkpoint. What would you say?
Yeah, I do think that Farmingdale still does have a bit of the advantage, because yes, with that checkpoint, and obviously what the scoreboard indicates, I do think that Farmingdale is still in the better position here, because they are very continuously getting one down. And Moravian has to consistently reassess, hey, we're at a numbers disadvantage, what do we do? As Roy Boy comes up with another pick, trying to find one more. Oh, not able to do so, but it's getting these consistent just one downs, even if it's a very small stagger, but it's making the difference, as we have not seen Moravian on the offensive in at least 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, this is a very difficult match, because a lot of people, their instant is 2 down. That's our green light. That's when we go. But when you have 1 down, it's always a question of, should we push? Should we keep this going? And right now, Farmingdale's doing a great job of just recognizing their green lights, even when you don't have the definitive 2 down. The strikes are coming out, trying to defend the tower. Mike is forced to retreat and trying to just fight off Roy Boy even more as the points are ticking down again. They have hit the second checkpoint. Roy Boy finally does go down, but no, the rest of the members are there. Mike is somehow not going down now. What is happening?
All these players really have a knack for staying alive in the stickiest of situations. But take a look at Jack. Jack comes up with, I think only was able to get away with 1 pick there somehow, despite having 2 people right in front of them. And now with 20 seconds to go, Moravian takes their last stand. The killer whale coming out, trying to find anything they can. They do get the bow, a massive pick. Mike pushing up hard now, trying to make something happen. They need to get on this tower. Yes, they do. That's 3 down. Oh, right here!
Oh, no, the strikes!
Oh, is that it?
Oh,
yes!
that's it!
Roy Boy comes up big, and then that is exactly what we said when this game started. That is the one person you need to watch out for when that clock hits 0. They got everybody, but they did not get Roy Boy, and Farmingdale wins their first set of the season.
Whew. GG Strikes, signed Roy Boy, sent express mail in game number 6 here. Whew. But even then, just that's tough. With only these 1 down situations, you don't find very many of these instant, now is the time. Farmingdale has impressive ability to just handle neutrals so well and pounce on a moment's notice that I don't think Moravian was kind of expecting with, the traditional Splatoon of get your massive numbers lead, then make your push and secure those positions. Most of that game was neutral. I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah, and honestly, other than splat zones, this whole set, we saw a lot of very low-scoring games. And I really think that is more of a testament to how evenly matched these 2 teams are. It was just a lot of back and forth between the 2. As we had seen from Tower Control to Rainmaker to Clam Blitz, every single one of those games just came down to the wire. And it was always just, hey, one team got one more opportunity than the other, and were able to capitalize on it to get those extra points that gave them the edge that they needed. So kudos to Farmingdale, though. They got through 4 of those games there. The 2 Splat Zones games in dominant fashion as well. But Moravian, hey, I really hope you kind of take this as a bit of a confidence booster, because those games indicated that every single game that you play, you are in it. And sometimes just things don't go your way. There's a couple little things you can clean up, but you're right there. And that is a promising set number 1 as we dive on into our fun play all 7 here. This will go down in the record books as 4-2. But per CCA tradition, for those of you that are new around here, a lot of teams do like to play the 7th game for the fun of it, because it's like, hey, we're all here.
Oh, DRF.
Why don't we just play? My goodness.
That is a completely different outcome than what we've seen for the past 40, 50 minutes. That is a wipeout in the first 20 seconds of the match, and I didn't even get a chance to point out the fact that they have a Carbon Roller Deco. Interesting choice right here, and another wipeout. What is happening? Is this the same team? Yo, can we get confirmation? Like,
these games have been scrappy. I mean, but yeah, like the early wipeouts are definitely a little bit different. As now, this Rainmaker is trying to get back into mid. Able to actually come up with a couple of nice picks there. So Mike could actually try to move this Rainmaker forward now to claim the checkpoint. Zipcaster coming out. Oh! Gets the 2-for-1 special! 1 arm, 2 picks, and finally gets shut down.
I like to call those Zipcast kills the Goomba Stomp, because you come out as just really high in the sky and just BAM! Squash people. Right now, with 68 points on the board, Farmingdale is in a pretty good spot right now with that checkpoint still broken. However, this is Scorch Gorge, so pushes can happen. There are a lot of intense comebacks that have happened. Mike managing to snake around, picking off that Rainmaker, securing their team enough space to keep moving around, keep this neutral going.
Yeah, they do, as now both teams colliding onto this Rainmaker barrier. But it seems like Farmingdale is going to win this one out. Both teams just continuing to try to find anything they can. Mike going to drop right into Jasmine's brush and able to get picked off there. So now it's Farmingdale picks up this Rainmaker and looking to add more points onto the board. 2:50 to play. Jasmine once again leading the way here, trying to just cause as much havoc as possible. Finally, this push will stall, and it seems like that Moravian should be able to get back in the mid here with that nice pick. So they can certainly make something happen here, Frosty.
Ooh, clean Rainmaker pick earlier from Mike there. Taking the slow, just taking it right, standard, managing to get the 2 picks down, so that is their chance, that is their green light to go. Right now, Jasmine trying to go after that Rainmaker, managing to get, that is Jack with the Carbon Roller. Jasmine is cornered by that Rainmaker. There's the pick. Autobot behind them, forced to move forward into that Hydra sightline. Oh, clean up. However, that is a trade 2 for 2 with the Rainmaker still left near that podium. Tri-Strikes are coming out. Roy is contesting right now, taking the high ground as Diplo is forced to retreat. But no, that is going to be Ratboy picking them off and securing their podium once again. Farmingdale with the defense.
Yeah, a great stop there, because I really felt like that Moravian was going to get that checkpoint there with the way that the numbers were looking. But an excellent defensive stop there. I mean, Mike did a fantastic job on that Rainmaker as well to get pick after pick, but it just was not enough. As now, it looks like Pick and Mike are running down this Rainmaker, going to shut them down and see if they can convert this now. Defense into offense, how quick can they move? Because now this first checkpoint should be pretty open to them.
And looking at right here, here's the checkpoint attempt. No, gonna be stopped right before the dunk. That is still 70 points, not quite enough. The wipeout going in favor of Farmingdale. This is their time with 1 minute left to play. They just have to cover neutral, keep this Rainmaker under control. I believe they just barely don't have enough time to hold it the whole duration, but it doesn't matter anyways. The Rainmaker goes down right in the middle. Diplo forced to retreat, Roy picking them off. It is 2-2 if I'm not mistaken. Right now the Tri-Strikes are online, securing even more space, trying to get the members back. The Crab is out, trying to keep that Rainmaker shield neutralized, but no, Ratboy gonna pick it out and take off the splash out of play. The Zipcaster is online. Now is the time for the offense. Here comes the push.
I love that both of these teams still want this game 7, even though it's meaningless, so bad. Like, they are really giving it their all at this stage, as Mike gets another Rainmaker pick, but Jasmine gonna take them down with them. So, 10 seconds to go, and this could go either way, as Diplo picks off one, trying to find another, but might have just gotten a little bit antsy there, reached out just a little bit too far, and now 2 members down on the side of Moravian, trying to stall this Rainmaker, buy time for teammates to get back into action. Jasmine gonna go down yet again, and now this Booyah Bomb's gonna try to pick off Mike. No, forces them back. Numbers still in favor of Moravian, trying to make something happen here at the 11th hour. Members going down on either side, and it seems like that Mike is by themselves now. They're gonna have to force this Rainmaker forward. They get the check.
Here we go.
It's gonna come down to the pop. Who can
Mike's
grab
up,
it first?
Mike's
Mike's
up.
gonna be able to pop through it. No, it's gonna be Farmingdale forces the Jack, tries to grab it. It is not good. Wow, a thrilling game 7. That means absolutely nothing, but it is thrilling anyways.
Hey, no one talks bad about my game 7. That was great. That last push was insane. Mike managing to stay alive till the very end. And if Jack was just a little bit further, that would have been a lead flip. That would have been enough.
That was crazy. I mean, just imagine though, if this was the game 7 that like that Moravian ends up winning game 6, and that was game 7 down to the wire like that. They're absolute bonkers. I mean, that was so good. So kudos to both these teams for delivering in this extra game. This was so much fun. I would love to see the stats, because I feel like between the non-knockout games, I want to say that the games were pretty consistently decided here by probably a collective maybe 60 points.
Yeah, about that, I'd say. Probably.
Oh, well, we're gonna kind of walk through some of these stats here. You know, taking a look, a couple of 14 pieces here on either side. Both teams just really showing up here, as most people in these games going positive, regardless of win or defeat. But Mike coming up big in this one here, game number 2, Manta tower control. But it was Royboy on that blaster, continuing to just make life so difficult. And I really feel like every single game someone else came up big. Like here, Z on that Squiffer with the insane double to initiate that last lockout to give Farmingdale the win. Honestly, every game was so good. Kudos to both of these teams, but congratulations to Farmingdale for winning your week 1 set.
Balance, that's what it's all about. Great job. Really definitely made this opening weekend very exciting to watch, very exciting to follow, to see how these teams have sort of grown over the time in the CCA to get where they are right now.
Certainly, but Frosty, that is not the end of our triple header here on opening night for our stream. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up, because we have match number 3 that should be going any minute now. Where can the people of our chat find you?
All right, you can find me on Discord, Twitter, and Twitch at Control-Alt-Defrost, like the keyboard shortcut, but I butchered the ending. DRF, where can the lovely people find you?
You can go and find me on Twitter at DRF_Splatoon, Twitch, TritonDRF, but per usual, you can find me right here on the CCA channel, covering all things collegiate Splatoon. We have one more matchup for you all on this wonderful Saturday evening. Kyon and Inkai will be bringing you home. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss it.